I was gonna go to sleep, but I gotta make another video. This is about your ancestors. You must know where you've come from to know where you're going. It's a cliche, you've heard it before, but let me tell you a little bit about myself just so you get things in perspective. So, my ancestors, and what I mean is like my religious ancestors, the people who, like, let's go back a little bit, right? So, in India, we were Hindus, right? My family were Hindus, and supposedly we got converted from Hinduism to Islam. This is probably something like 100 years ago, ish, something like that. And we weren't Brahmins. Brahmins are the top uh, caste in Hinduism. So we weren't Brahmins because Brahmins would stay Hindu because they have nothing to be afraid of. But my ancestors were Hindus and they got converted to Islam, and so we became Muslim, right? And I would say this probably happened because I know 1936, it would happen before that. It would, I would say probably something like 150 years ago, maybe even more, something like that. Now, uh, if you, because see, every single one of us comes from a certain diversity of background. It doesn't have to be like, right? So there's different types of backgrounds. There's cultural backgrounds. There are where you live in society, who your friends are, who are you the product of. You're the product of the five people that you're around. So all of that make up who you are. All of that makes up where you come from. But if you look at my life, right, it's going to give you a perspective of how I want you to think about your life, right? So first think about your parents. Who are your parents? What do they do? Are they rich or poor? Do you want to be like them physically, mentally, from the heart? Do you want to think like them? Do you want to feel like them? Really try to understand that. Then you look at your grandparents to see who are your grandparents, because remember, genetics is not some bullshit. It's real. So if you look at like my grandfather, he was a great man. So he was a pure entrepreneur. There aren't very many entrepreneurs in my family, but my grandfather was a pure one. We had the number one restaurant in Bangladesh. This is like way back in the day. And as I embark on my entrepreneurship, and I'm an entrepreneur, as you know, anytime I hit an obstacle, I always think that Dada, which is my grandpa, he was an amazing entrepreneur. He actually would give loans to people, just like free loans, like 0% interest loans. And some of these assholes would open up a restaurant right in front of my grandfather's restaurant, which was called Kashmir Hotel or Kashmir Restaurant. And it was number one in the entire country. Actually, in the entire city, not the country. It was the number one in Dhaka, which is the capital of Bangladesh. And my grandfather has helped so many people out, giving them money, like loaning them money, even though they would backstab him. But he never expected anything in return. He was a very giving man. So when I think about, like, my grandfather was so giving and so loving, it makes me understand that I'm embarking on a journey where I want to be like my grandfather, right? Then you look just more close to you. You look at like mom and dad. My mom is really badass, right? My mom is literally the person who holds together our family, and she's very brave, very courageous. And that's whenever I'm in trouble, whenever I have fear of something, I always think about my mummy, my mom. And that enables me to really face that fear and try to overcome it, even though there's so many fears I still haven't overcome. And I'm trying my best to get there one day and develop myself. Then I look at my dad, and my dad is very loving. He has a feminine nature to him. He cries. He's very emotional. He was brought up in a family which had a lot of fighting and a lot of debates and a lot of, let's say, competitive type behavior. So my dad He was the only one to get educated. He became a doctor, an anesthetist, and he was the only one to be educated in our family. And that's where I get my education, my talent, my academia, my mental caliber, right? So I have my dad to look up to for that, my academics. Then I go way back in the day, and if I look at my religion, I'm known as what they call an Ismaili, which are people who are one branch of Islam. And as an Ismaili, I know that my religious ancestors, if you go way back in the day, I'm actually an assassin, right? This is like 5 minutes and 43 seconds. So now you get the gem in the video. Man, if you didn't listen until now, I'm sorry, but I should plan my videos better. But it's okay. I'm in the moment. I'm actually an assassin. So in Assassin's Creed, for those of you who've played, there's this guy on the mountain, the man on the mountain. He like pushes some kid. I've never played, but my friends have told me to go down. That man is Hassan Sabah, who was our leader in Syria and in Iran. We had multiple leaders. So he was the leader. I believe it was in Iran. And then in Syria, it was Rashid al-Sinan, which is like another leader. And Hassan Sabah was in Iran. And he was that old man on the mountain. So when you play Assassin's Creed, that first Assassin's Creed takes place in Misyaf, which is a city in Syria. And I visited that city. And I actually had coffee on the Misyaf castle. I had tea with a bunch of people. Now, what's interesting is that assassins, it comes from the word hashashin, which are people who do hash, people who like smoke hash all day and follow their leader blindly. And the reason that happened is Marco Polo would visit my ancestors, and he would notice that the leader was so powerful that he would just tell someone to die, like jump off a building, just going like this, and the guy would like jump off and kill himself. And Marco Polo thought that these people were, my ancestors were on hashish all the time. They were on hash. So he called them those who do hashish, those who smoke hashish, the hashashin. And the hashashin became assassin. Assassin. And my religious ancestors, because of jihad and whatnot, they would actually have these public killings where they would try to scare the leader of that, they were getting persecuted, so they would, try to scare the leader, and, they would have these public bombings and stuff. Like this actually happened with the assassins. Like this is like 800 years ago, I believe. So I come from that lineage. So the reason I'm telling you this is, in today's society, as I try to inculcate myself, acclimate myself with love and freedom, there's a lot of hate. There's a lot of backstabbing. There's a lot of behavior that would take a normal person out. It would make a normal person quit. But I come from that lineage, right? I can imagine what the comments on this YouTube video is going to be. It's going to be something crazy, but I mean, I'm coming from a state of love, and I'm telling you the real history here. Go look it up. Google all this. I'm not kidding around. Google everything. My last name is on Wikipedia, Kawaja. Go Google that too. But I come from a sick lineage, man. And I did research on all this. Like I sat down and did research to understand the crazy lineage I come from, and what I stand for and what my ancestors have done. So anytime I'm in trouble, anytime I feel that I have fear of something, I say, damn, man, I come from a badass ancestry. I have nothing to be afraid of, because I'm a badass. And you're a badass. Find out about your ancestry. Go ask your parents. Ask your grandfather. If he's alive. My grandfather is not alive anymore. Peace be upon him. But go find out, man. Like, and really understand your ancestry so you can know about your future, because now you're going to know about your past. So I really encourage you. Um, and if you have any questions, let me know. I'll tell you more about myself. Like, there's a lot of stuff you guys don't know about me, about my, my religious upbringing and all the details about who the fuck I am and what I stand for. So feel free, comment below, no problem. I'll answer everything. I read everything. And if you want to boost your testosterone, if you want to understand the meal preps to use, exact foods to eat, my entire journey towards boosting my testosterone and reclaiming my masculinity, I'm still reclaiming, I'm still on that path. Go to doctestosterone.com. Visit that site, look at all the testimonials, get my ebook. Double Your Testosterone is the name of the ebook. There's so many amazing products that we've made over the last 3 years, all about testosterone, the science of testosterone. If you're wondering about all the papers that have been cited, all the research that has been done, that I've done personally, that other scientists have done, go on the site, get the ebook. All the references are in the back. I encourage you highly to get all that. And yeah, man, reclaim your masculinity. That's where it's at. And post your comments below, and I'll read them and answer them. And if you love this shit, share it with your friends. Let them know that Doc Testosterone's back. And we're going to continue to provide love and give a lot of badass value to you. Hit the like button if you liked it. And see you next time, bro. Ciao. And love from Doc Testosterone.